You know, the term full stack developer gets thrown around all the time. But what does it really mean? Is it just knowing a little bit of front end and a little bit of back end? Well, the reality, as you're about to see, is so much deeper. Today, we're diving into the surprising complexity of what it actually takes to build a real world, production level application. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by busting the common full stack myth. Then, we'll uncover what I'm calling the 12-layer reality. After that, we'll walk through building a real AI app, map out the entire production pipeline, and finally, talk about what it means to think like a true systems engineer. All right, first things first. Let's talk about the picture that most people have in their heads when they think about building a web app, especially if they're just starting out. This is the classic model we're all taught. It's this simple two-part story, right? You've got the front end, the user interface, what people see and click, and it talks to the back end, which handles all the business logic and the database. It's clean, it's neat, but is it the whole picture? Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Does this super simple model actually hold up when you're building a serious application, one that needs to handle thousands of users, be secure, scalable, and never go down? The answer, honestly, is a hard no. This two-layer view is a fantastic learning tool, but for real production systems, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So let's pull back the curtain. It's time to graduate from that simple expectation and look at what a professional production-grade system actually involves. The reality is, well, it's a lot more layered. And here, you can really see the massive difference between theory and practice. On the left, you've got our simple little two-layer model, but on the right, that's the real world. It's this complex, multi-layered ecosystem. And let me tell you, understanding each of these layers isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential for building anything robust. So let's break these 12 layers down. We start with the ones we all know, front end, back end, database. But then we have to go so much deeper into the real operational core. We're talking servers, networking, and the cloud infrastructure that it all sits on. And then you've got the processes that keep everything running smoothly. Things like CI/CD for automation, rock-solid security, continuous monitoring, and backups. This is where simple coding really turns into full-blown engineering. Let's just zoom in on CI/CD for a second. This is way more than just a buzzword. It's the automated assembly line for your software. It takes the code you write, runs it through a whole bunch of automated tests to make sure nothing's broken, and then safely deploys it out to your users. This automation makes everything faster, way more reliable, and just safer. And then you've got containers, like Docker. This layer single-handedly solves that age-old developer problem of, well, it works on my machine. By packaging your entire app and everything it needs to run into one standardized, isolated little box, containers guarantee that your code runs the exact same way everywhere, on your laptop, in testing, and in production. And this really gets to the heart of it. It's a fundamental shift in mindset. You're not just writing lines of code in a file somewhere. You are designing, building, and maintaining a complete, interconnected system where all 12 of these layers have to work together perfectly. Okay, theory is great, but let's make this real. We're going to walk through how you'd actually build a real-world application, let's say an AI medical diagnosis platform. This is a perfect example to show us how all 12 of those layers come together to create a system that actually works. So for our AI app, choosing the right tools is absolutely crucial. For the front end, React is an awesome choice for building those snappy user interfaces. On the back end, we'll go with FastAPI. It's a super modern, high-performance Python framework. For our database, you can't go wrong with Postgres for its power and reliability. And of course, for the AI brain itself, TensorFlow is the industry standard. We kick things off with the core development. First, you have to define the problem and architect the whole system. Then you start building the pieces. You code the React interface. You set up that FastAPI server. You design the database schema. And then, the magic moment, you integrate them so the front end can actually talk to the back end. Now, with the main parts built, we've got to focus on making it robust and secure. This means testing, and I mean a lot of testing, from tiny individual functions all the way to the entire user journey. And for a medical app, security is everything. We're talking user authentication, data validation, and encrypting all communication to protect that sensitive patient information. Okay, it's time to bring our application to the world. We package it up with Docker, we push it out to a cloud provider like AWS, and we set up our CI/CD pipeline so updates go live automatically. But the job isn't over. We also have to set up monitoring to watch its health and performance and implement regular backups because losing data is not an option. All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at this entire process as one continuous flow. What does that journey from just a simple idea to a fully functioning live application actually look like from a bird's eye view? This right here gives us a fantastic overview of the whole life cycle. It all starts with an idea. Then you move to design, you code it, you test it relentlessly. After that, you deploy it using those automated CI/CD pipelines. And finally, you monitor and maintain the system while it's live. It's a complete circle. And once you can navigate this entire pipeline from start to finish, you're not just a coder anymore. You're thinking like a systems engineer. You have this holistic view of how every single piece of the puzzle fits together. You know, a really cool way to think about your application is like a living organism. The front end is the face. It's what users see and interact with. The back end is the brain, handling all the logic and control. The database is its memory, storing everything it knows. And in our app, the AI model is that specialized intelligence that makes the critical decisions. And that's really the key takeaway. When you truly embrace this entire multi-layered stack, your title, it just evolves. You're not just a developer who knows two things. You are a full-stack AI systems engineer capable of architecting and building complete, intelligent, production-ready systems from scratch. Look, this 12-layer reality isn't meant to scare you or be overwhelming. It's a map. It shows you the true scope of what's possible and the incredible power you have as a builder. So the only real question left is, what incredible system are you going to engineer next?